And Campbell called for steps as he started to drive.
Well, we got Scott and Johnson coming back in the game. And we've mentioned several times, Frank, how Frank Haith is doing a good job of keeping his guys fresh here after the Thanksgiving break. You know, you practice, and it's different from game situation.
Miami played over the weekend over in Fort Myers and picked up a win over Florida Gulf Coast University. Dondricus Nelson with a three for the Rebels, won't go, and Reggie Johnson gathers in the rebound. Canes have played exceptionally well here in the first half. Duran Scott launches a three, in and out. Johnson with the rebound. Johnson powers back to the rim, and Reggie has 10 first half points.
And he was triple teamed on that play. Reggie Johnson really is fun to watch, isn't he? This guy has improved so much over the course of his career, and I know you've got something at halftime with him with his weight. Kept the ball alive. Give me that thing back, will you? And now he goes down the floor, gets tripped up. Repetitive jumping for a 300-pound player is really fun to watch, and his strength makes people fall away from him. Great playing by Reggie. Take a look at this. 12 points and 10.5 rebounds a game. 4 double-doubles in the last 5 games. And he has been a model of consistency. The only other guy in the ACC with 4 double-doubles is Singleton at Florida State right now. So he is really coming along. It'll be interesting to see when the ACC season starts how he fares among the big guys in that league.
Well, that'll be a key to how much success I think Miami can have. Miami already with 7 offensive rebounds, 10 second chance points. There was a dead ball technical foul issued against Stedman Short for apparently tripping up Reggie Johnson, and Malcolm Grant will knock down the first of the free throws.
Well, it's nice when you have a guy who's a great free throw shooter who can step in like that. Scott is 82, and Malcolm only 78. So I'm surprised he shot the free throws because Scott is in the game.
1 out of 2 for Malcolm Grant. 35-13 Miami by 22 with 6:07 left to go. Ray Natilli, one of our officials tonight, who I've seen everywhere on my television this week watching college basketball, came over with an explanation for you, Bob.
Yeah, well, it was a dead ball situation, and that's why it's a technical, and Miami will keep the ball even after the free throws. You know, Stedman hit Johnson.
Adrian Thomas, stay hot, young fella. 4 triples in the first half.
Well, he is feeling it. 5 for 11 from three-point range for the Canes. That's going to win a lot of games. They made 10 in the first half in their last game against Florida Gulf Coast.
Gaskins battling loose ball in the lane, rescued by Zach Graham. He leans in from 12 and hits.
Yeah, you know, the scoring for Ole Miss is out of junk stuff. You know, nothing's set. Loose balls, you know, junk, trying to get it, but they have not executed at all against Miami's defense.
5:20 to go first half. Malcolm Grant on the penetration. Reggie Johnson can't get the layup. Loose ball to Grant from 14, rattles it in.
Everything going their way. The guys in the blue are slow to the ball. The guys in the white are very quick. They are getting every loose ball out here, and not only getting them, but converting them when they do.
Nick Williams posting up, fires over Johnson off the back rim, and Reggie rebounds. Duran Scott, offensive foul.
Well, why is Miami so good in this game? Well, they've been certainly entertaining with their fast break. They're running the ball very well and unselfish when they do. Reggie Johnson's running from tin to tin. That's what you want from your big man. And with the guards doing their thing as they normally do, the fast break is there. The other thing that's there is the three-pointers. 5 in the first half right here. And, of course, Adrian Thomas tuning up from deep as his normal game. Fast breaks and three-pointers keeping Miami way in front.
Zach Graham for the Rebels. We trail it by 25. Graham fires a 3 over to Quan Jones. Gamble with the rebound. Under 4.5 to go, first half, and Miami's been in control right from the opening tip.
I love Duran Scott's game. He really can control the ball. Does not shoot threes very often. Gets everybody involved. At the end of the shot clock, he can get to the paint and make a move. Guy is a terrific point guard.
Juan Jones pulls up from 17 and hits.
Well, confidence is flowing by everyone right now. That's not his game, and yet he makes the jumper. Might be a good game for Daquan Jones to get well. He's had a tough time with turnovers this year.
Zach Graham count the basket and a foul on Julian Gamble. So Graham, the senior out of Sewanee, Georgia, will have a chance for a three-point play when we return, but Miami up big by 25. Back at the Bank United Center in Coral Gables, of course, South Florida, the scene of tonight's ACC-SEC matchup, and Miami handling Ole Miss so far in this one, 42-17. Frank Ford along with Bob Wenzel. And Bob, let's take a look at some ACC storylines early in this season.
Well, the Blue Devils are #1, and they're playing very, very well. The most talented team, and also they've got a great point guard. Look at the bottom. The freshman sensation in the ACC is Irving, leading the league in assists and also big numbers. The question mark is Carolina. Are they going to have another season like last year? They go in ranked 9th. They're 4-2. They lost to Minnesota and Vanderbilt. Barely beat College of Charleston. And for me, the question is, who's the third best team in this league? And I think Florida State is. A lot of people feel Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech lost in their tournament late and got to the final loss to UNLV. So it's going to be an interesting deal. Clemson only has lost 1 game so far also.
Miami breaking pressure. Reggie Johnson can't get the layup to fall after the pass from Malcolm Grant. Of course,
Malcolm Grant faked out Reggie Johnson there. He faked out our cameraman. He faked out the entire building. Gave him a little dipsy-do, and as a result, Reggie wasn't really ready for it. The fake behind the back. You got to love that. I'll tell you, in a tight game, I don't think Frank Hates wants to see that.
Grant gets around Warren. The jumper rattles out. Graham saves it into Warren.
Warren's back in the game after a long sit. They need to get him on fire if this is going to be any kind of a game, and there it is.
That's his first basket of the night. Averages 16.8 a game.
He has made a bunch of threes in his career. His streak of 46 games with a 3 ended last week when they played Murray State. So he is on a new streak. We talk about Malcolm Grant having a streak of 15 or 16 games. This guy has 46.
Reggie Johnson inside, finishes with the left hand. Reggie's got a dozen.
You know, you said left hand, and that's a good thing to talk about. This guy's got great hands. Big man with good hands equals wins.
Fredricus Nelson fires a 3 and was fouled by Malcolm Grant. I don't think Frank Haith would be happy about that in a 23-point game, fouling a 3-point shooter. Let's check our AT&T College scoreboard. Some updates from around college hoops tonight. Just 1 game on our board in progress. Ohio State up by a deuce over our old friend Leonard Hamilton and the Florida State Seminoles.
A lot of big games. You know, the ACC and the Big Ten going after one another in that annual challenge that the ACC wins every single year. And right now, this young man scored tons and tons of points in high school in Mississippi. Dundrakis Nelson. And he is a man. I talked to him a little bit before the game. He is a strong-looking guy for a freshman.
And one of 2 Mississippi natives on the roster. And Bob, I was very surprised to find out that Mississippi hadn't signed a homegrown player before Nelson since 2005.
They've had some players from Mississippi who went directly high school to the NBA for a few years there. And Andy Kennedy's, you know, Memphis is pretty close to Ole Miss, so he gets a lot of players from that area as well.
2 out of 3 for Nelson at the line. Daquan Jones elevates and dominates.
No resistance whatsoever by Henry or Buckner. Miami has taken the wind out of the sails of the Rebels big time.
Nelson misses from 3. Grant, look at Reggie Johnson running the floor. Have it slapped away. It'll stay with the Hurricanes as Warren knocked it out of bounds.
Well, Daquan Jones is nothing but an athlete, that is for sure. Flying to the basket. This is his best thing, and this is what he needs to do for the Hurricanes. If he does that kind of action and stays away from the silly turnovers he makes, he will make a big contribution to this team.
Rand Scott with it for the Hurricanes. spins baseline. The floater is short, but a foul. This one's going to go on Zach Graham. And Durant Scott, sophomore out of New York City, Rice High School, averaging 12 and a half a game. He'll go to the line. 6 points tonight. Bob, you mentioned free throw percentage. That's one thing Durant's improved from his freshman year.
Very, very good. And of course, on Saturday, Miami will play West Virginia here, and West Virginia is a powerful, powerful team. And they have several New York guards on that team as well, including Truck Bryant. So Scott and Malcolm Grant both know him very well, played together on some AAU teams in the summertime. So that game will pose more of a challenge than this one for certain.
1 out of 2 for Scott. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Reggie Johnson. It'll belong to the Revs.
You know, Reggie was trying to tip it there to Gamble on the interior. You know, he makes some pretty intelligent plays too. You know, I mean, he has a good feel for the game.
Ryan Brown with the foul. Yeah, what coaches call the basketball IQ.
And you know, you think about Miami at the start of the season, and you say, okay, they were last in the ACC last year, but they finished the season strong, but they lose Dews and Collins. Now, how can they possibly be better? Well, Reggie Johnson is one answer for sure. And then also Malcolm Grant and Durant Scott, you would think would get better with their experience. So you put a guy like Ryan Brown in there right now, along with Scott. You know, now you get some young guys mixed in there. They're getting some experience now. So it remains to be seen whether they will be improved in the conference or not. But I think they feel like they will be.
Warren hits both free throws. He has 5. I asked Frank Haith today, what do you like about the freshman Ryan Brown's game? He said simply, he knows how to score the basketball.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. Had 17 against North Carolina Central. Remember that game? That was his best outing so far. There he is. Nice square up. Nice square up. Nice square up!
You like when you talk about a kid and then he does something right away.
Well, that's a good, he is very, very solid and mature, even though he looks like he's about 14 years old. Canes, 6 for 12 from downtown.
Nick Williams short on the runner. Gamble rebounds. Scott to Ryan Brown. Freshman pulls it back out nicely. Durant, lock and load. 3 on target.
7 for 13.
10 points for Durant Scott. Chris Warren fakes Scott into the air. Pumps up a 17-footer. Back iron no. Reggie Johnson with yet another rebound. And on his way, Bob, to another double-double.
I'll tell you what, and so consistent, right? Goodness, he is consistent.
Durant Scott driving through the paint. Just slicing through the Rebels.
They've taken their heart. They have absolutely taken their heart.
45 seconds to go first half. Chris Warren trying to inject some life into the Ole Miss running Rebels, and just nothing going for them right now. Terrence Henry on the baseline, nice reverse.
Well, he's their best interior player. We haven't seen much of Terrence, number 1, so far in this game. But we saw some talent right there going to the basket. Ryan Brown, his dad Tico was a good player at Georgia Tech, and he taught him how to shoot properly. Rotation is perfect. Squares to the basket. Look at this square up and watch the release. Beautiful. Wave goodbye to that ball.
And how about this, Bob? With a 30-point lead and 30 seconds in the first half, Frank Haith wasn't happy giving up a baseline drive out of that zone defense. He called timeout.
Well, if he doesn't use it in the first half, he loses it. So he's got to do something. He's got to find something to complain about. Nature of the beast.
Reggie Johnson tonight with 12 points and 7 rebounds. And coming up at halftime, we'll have a feature on Reggie. I sat down with him, talked about a number of topics, including how much weight he's lost since he arrived on campus at the University of Miami, and the interesting summer he had going over to China with some U.S. collegians to play games over there. He said everybody would walk up to him going, Yao friend, Yao friend. They all thought every basketball player is a friend of Yao Ming.
Well, I'm going to teach you something right now. I'm going to teach you how to greet somebody when you're in China. You say ni hao. Ni hao is how you say hello.
Ni hao.
That's right. So now you know a little Mandarin Chinese.
Very good. Dundrekus Nelson picks up a foul.
You know, in China, there are 2 professional basketball leagues with about 18 teams in each. And, of course, they have more cities with 15 and 18